Greetings to you. This is Michelle Strickland, and this is Monday. So this conversation with self. Conversation with self. Yeah, self. You know we do conversation with self, usually on Monday, but sometimes on other days. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It goes quick, doesn't it? Yeah, the weeks go by quick. What you gonna talk about today, self? We're gonna talk briefly about embracing vulnerability, self. Ooh, that's kind of scary, self. For you, it's kind of scary. Yeah, it can be, but I think that's, I think people have strayed away from being vulnerable, and they're afraid to be vulnerable for various reasons. So let's talk about it just a little bit, okay, self? Just for a little bit. Even though it's uncomfortable, let's just talk about it for a minute. Maybe you can become a better person if you just, become a little bit more vulnerable, but just be cautious. Let's see let's go ahead on. Okay, self. Let's go ahead on. Authentic connections are built on a foundation of vulnerability. When we allow ourselves to be open, honest, and vulnerable, we create space for genuine interactions with others. Yeah? Vulnerability is the bridge that connects us on a deeper level, transcending the superficial barriers that often hinder true understanding. Sometimes, yeah, could. By sharing our true selves, our fears, and our imperfections, we invite others to do the same, creating a bond that is both meaningful and profound. That can happen. The fear of judgment is a powerful force that often prevents us from embracing vulnerability. Yeah. People misunderstand stuff, and then they could take it to a whole other level of ridiculous. We worry that if we reveal our true selves, we will be criticized, rejected, or misunderstood. Yeah. I know people tend to do that with me. I could say the sky is blue and the sky is blue. Because I said it, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. Like I said, the sky is purple when it's clearly blue. This fear can be paralyzing, causing us to put up emotional walls and hide behind a facade of perfection. I let people know right away I don't know everything. I'll get that out the way real quick, because I don't want people saying, well, you think you're this and that. I don't think I'm perfect. I know I've made a lot of mistakes, and I don't stand on that. I don't try to claim that. I'll claim I made a lot of mistakes that I wish I never made, but I keep going. The only difference with me and some people is that I'm not going to let my mistakes stop me from being, trying to be successful. I'm not going to let that get in the way, because we all make mistakes. And I'm not going to let other people's condemnation hold me down, because they want to be negative. That's one thing I'm not going to do. People can take it or leave it. Until they not paying nothing over here. No bills over here. However, it's important to recognize that a fear of judgment is often exaggerated, and people's responses can be far more accepting and supportive than we anticipate, which mostly is true. Most of the time most people appear to be reasonable. Not everybody is on the far side of the moon with their thinking, but there's some people it's like, it don't matter if you say I'm breathing right now. They can say, well, you look dead to me, and you standing there clearly breathing, But basically, though, I try to reach out to people, but when I do, I try to be friendly with people as often as I can. But when I am, I'm basically, when I do that, I'm teasing them, or I'm being real surface level. Now, when I need to get deep with people about different situations, I go on a case-by-case basis, depending on what the situation is, But I try to keep things real surface, and keep my own personal, deep-seated biases out of it. The equation, as often as I can, but not always. Sometimes the things that I do are based off of different experiences that I've had, which can also be a roadblock. So I have to be real cautious of that, because I'm always looking for the angle. When people just say something that's just exactly what they mean, just that. It's nothing hidden behind it, but That's something I got to work on, and I'm working on it because I overanalyze stuff too long, sometimes too much. I'm gonna give you some ideas for some techniques for embracing vulnerability. Techniques? There's techniques for embracing vulnerability? Yeah, self, there are. And I'm gonna talk about a few of them, okay? Okay. Start small. Begin by sharing small vulnerabilities with someone you trust. Okay. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you offer to your loved ones. Yeah, I'm working on that. I just really started doing that. I always put everybody before myself. I'm not talking about God because I love him first, but as far as that underneath that, I always put everybody else in front of myself, and then I ended up sometimes depleted because I didn't put myself first, and then because everybody don't have your best interests at heart, and they'll drag and pull and take and as much as they can until you are left with nothing, and then you're just standing there waiting for people to, give you self-compassion, and sometimes you just can't find it. So that's why you've had to find it within yourself, haven't you? Yeah, I did. I worked on that. Now I'm so much better now. Cultivate active listening. Practice, being an attentive and non-judgmental listener when others share their vulnerabilities. Change negative self-talk. Notice when your inner critics start whispering doubts about your worthiness. Let me read that again. Challenge negative self-talk. Notice when your inner critic starts whispering doubts about your worthiness. Replace these thoughts with affirmations that reinforce your self-acceptance and courage, which is what I do every day. I started doing that this past summer. And when I do those affirmations, I modify them because those are affirmations that I do for myself. When I do affirmation videos. But that's what that's about. It's it's affirmations to challenge negative self-talk so I can lift my own thinking up every day. I am worthy. You deserve this. Those are my affirmations, but I modify them and I release them for everybody else to hear so that they can hear something positive, some positive feedback. Seek professional support. If the fear of judgment and vulnerability are deeply rooted, seeking therapy or counseling can provide a safe environment to explore these feelings. And people need to not be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Don't be afraid. There's no shame in that. By embracing vulnerability, we create an environment where authenticity thrives, allowing us to build deeper connections and foster meaningful relationships. And I'm working on that because I'm not too into being close to people. So that's something I gotta work on. My circle is real small. I have trust issues, and so I don't like a lot of people in my space, Remember that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that can lead to personal growth and richer interactions with others.